Yo, we live on location. Me and the blackest one had to come on down to Miami. We had to come down to South Beach to see our player partner from Puerto Rico. We got Fajardo's finest in the building, the pride of Puerto Rico, Carlos Arroyo in the building, a.k.a. Cookie. Let's get it.
First of all, we appreciate you coming on the show. You know, you've been our guy for a long time. We had a lot of battles against you and a lot of buckets getting from you. So we appreciate you, bro.
Thank you guys for having me, man. Congrats on everything you guys are doing.
Presented by Sleeper.
When you first got to the league, who was the first person to bust your ass? When you first got the opportunity to play?
Lindsey Hunter, bro.
Lindsey Hunter. Lindsey Hunter used to get a bucket,
fast as hell, boy.
I didn't think I was going to say Lindsey Hunter.
Trust me, it's always a throw off.
We heard some of the craziest ones.
You hear some killers, but then you hear them regulars too. Like Rashawn Leonard was my first.
Kyrie told it was Jose Calderon. He said every time he seen him, he was trying to get him out there. You know? It just be the ones that against
There's some players that you just, you know, and to me it was difficult to guard Steve Nash because Steve might end up with the night with 12 points, but he had freaking 22 assists. So he had total control of the game. You see what I'm saying? So it's those type of players where you're like, nah, he didn't have 34, he didn't have 40 on me, but he did all the things, you know? And all these pick and rolls and handoffs and transition and screen. Oh, man. You know, it was tough to guard Steve.
Fajardo, Puerto Rico. Tell us about growing up in Puerto Rico and soccer being probably the number one sport, and what made you or where you found the love for basketball at?
Man, to be honest with you, baseball.
Baseball.
You know, it's
baseball.
Baseball, you know, for us,
you
know, since you're a kid, you know, you grew up like playing the game and, you know, being in the park. And basketball, you know, came about. My dad was a huge fanatic of the game, and he used to take myself and my twin brother every afternoon just to teach us the game, and that's how I fell in love with it, you know.
Do a lot of people, like, when you were in your career, they know you had a twin brother? I didn't know that till we played together.
Because we did everything together. But once I got to college and everything, like, nobody knew. Nobody knew. We did everything together, you know, like, we used to dress alike, you know, twins. Since you're a kid, your mom dressed you alike and everything. So we did everything, you know, training, you know, camps, everything, practices, everything.
Did your pop used to hoop?
Nah, my dad's a lawyer, which is funny, you know, because a lot of people ask me the same thing. You know, your dad used to play or something. Nah, I guess he lived through us. You know what I'm saying? We played together until we were like pros. Like, you know, in Puerto Rico, you turn pro when you're like early. You're like 15, 16 years old. Damn. And so we played together, and he stopped playing. My brother stopped playing. Yeah. But my dad, he's still a lawyer. You know, he still practices his, you know, he's in every day being a lawyer and doing his thing. But he never played professional. He lived through us.
He just hooped around.
Yeah.
So with baseball being like the number one sport, and how was it like early on trying to get everybody to hoop?
I guess you play in the streets, you know. That's how I learned how to play. My dad, when he was teaching me the game, he was more of a structured type of basketball, you know, just learning the foundation and how to be disciplined, how to play the right way. I kind of learned my freedom and the way I played on the court, on the streets.
That's what I was about to say. So
every time I did a behind-the-back pass or something in front of my dad, he would question it. You know, he would tell me, "Nah, that's not how you do the way you play basketball. This and that." And friends of mine would tell, "I'm gonna tell your dad, you know, throw behind-the-back passes." But that's how I fell in love with the game.
Yeah. Did you just see that like when you would be like in the street balls playing, or did you watch any players on TV?
Street ball. I love street ball, man. I think that's the art. When you find your true self, or what type of player you really are, it's just finding that creativity within yourself, you know what I'm saying? And I love playing street. I love, you know, my first gig with a shoe company was with N1 when they first started to come up. So I was happy. I was excited. I used to follow that tour.
Yeah, you know like I used to, when I was younger, I watched all the N1. Yeah. all the convert. I like all the commercials. I even had the little VCR tapes watching how they used to they used to go through the players like Skip to Malou, Black Widow, and all them, and I used to try to imitate some of the moves that I feel fit with my
that was
game.
Back in our day.
That was back in our day. Like they was the thing back in our day. We almost signed the N1.
Really?
Yeah.
Like we both got the N1 tattoo.
Really? That's crazy.
On the arm.
They inspired a whole generation.
Yeah, they definitely did. The swag of your game. Who's the one that stuck out the most that you was like, that's me and that's who I want to be like?
Man, I used to watch a lot of Magic, a lot of, Isaiah. Those were the guys that, I try to emulate because of my position. It was MJ, the dude, but those guys playing my position, I used to, try to dribble like Isaiah and try to pass like Magic.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of different players here and there, and then, Jason came about White Chocolate.
Yeah.
And it was like, I want to be him.
Right. Straight up.
So I shout out to all of them. I really admire all their games. And once you get into the league, you're picking a little bit from each player, that you respect and try to emulate. And, it's just, growing in the game, I guess, but, and then you add your little sauce to it too,
Definitely
I remember I had a game in Memphis, and I did a couple of plays in the first half, and Bonzi Wells, he approaches me at half court. He's like, "Yo, young fella, where you from?" I'm like, "From Puerto Rico." He's like, "You got that salsa in your game." I was like, "Yeah, I guess," but you try to just, put your own creativity within your game and find your way of playing.
When did it click for you? Like, I know you playing so long. When did it click where you felt like, oh, this is it. This is what I want to be, and I'm starting to get a little more recognition, and a lot of people starting to know my name about who.
I will tell you, man, playing for the national team, playing for Puerto Rico, it really opened the doors for me, but it allowed me to play my game.
At what age did you first start being a part of the national team program?
When I think it was 21, when I got into the league. I first tried to make the national team, and I got cut. I didn't make the team.
Yeah.
But just playing with the national team, it allowed me to just be myself.
Yeah.
In the league, I never felt comfortable, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Man. I saw it as a business. I saw it as a place where I could make a lot of money, and it was my dream to be a part of the NBA, and I'm grateful. But I never felt comfortable. I never felt like the coach would be like, "Yo, play your game,"
Yeah.
And I always felt like you had to, play almost perfect to just continue to be on the court. I wasn't drafted. I wasn't, a franchise player. Yeah, exactly. So, but the flexibility with allowing me to play my game, it came about in spurts throughout the season. In Orlando, when I got there, I earned my minutes, and I had more freedom to play a little bit, but I never felt comfortable.
Tell us the process of you playing in high school in Puerto Rico and you making the transition to come to the United States and leave your twin brother, leave your family behind to pursue a dream that you have.
It was tough, man. Back then, I mean, I can sound old, but there was no internet or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when I was in high school, I was set on the NBA.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, it's like, I want to make it to the NBA, man. I want to make it to the NBA. And I told my dad, if I stay here, nobody's going to come recruit me. So he got in contact with some coaches that he knew from high school in Georgia, a small town in Georgia. So I made the contact, and I came to visit the school. We decided that I was going to leave with my twin brother. We went and visited the school in the summer. He didn't like it. He went for a week and he went back home. And I told him, I'm staying.
Yeah.
He didn't like it. You have to adapt to a different culture, different food, different people that you don't know, the language.
Yeah.
So it was a transition for me. But I left because I was set in the NBA. I wanted to make it to the league, and I knew that by me playing in high school, I was gonna be seen by all these colleges, and they were gonna have interest if I was be doing well. So, and it went well. I started playing, and I started getting letters and letters from all colleges, universities, and stuff.
When you first got there, did you speak fluent English like you said your brother?
Man.
So
I mean, I still struggle. I still struggle.
Is your twin the oldest?
About a minute, yeah.
About a minute, so he considered himself the older brother, right?
Always.
So how was that? Like, y'all only know each other. Like, for him to come somewhere and be like, "Yeah, I'm out," and you decided to stay.
Man. I was set, man. I don't know if back then he probably had a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he probably went back to his girl or something. But I had a girl too. Like, I say that because it didn't matter. Like, the situation. I was set that I wanted to make it, and I knew my path was that one. I had to, and I was thinking already ahead. Like if I go here and I play and I do well, colleges. And everything that I thought since I was a kid, it was happening, like step by step.
Did you expect to average 30 and 10 though?
At all. At all. As a junior too, like at all. Like yeah, that could like, be,
you feel like the work you put in, it paid off.
It helped me out for sure, it helped me.
But the people in Georgia, like, who is this little Puerto Rican
little
kid?
Puerto Rican, yeah.
Come from like getting 30 and 10.
Probably.
And saucing though.
Probably, yeah. Saucing them up, man. Probably, but I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. All I knew is I wanted to make it to the league, I say that in all honesty. And I started getting letters, and I remember I had a little shoebox that I used to put all my letters in under the bed. I used to pray, grabbing that shoebox, thinking about, all my dreams. And it went well, man. It went well that year, and I got a lot of attention. My senior year, I decided to go back to Puerto Rico and graduate with my class. And I had some teams that continued to follow. That was the year that my dad wanted me to turn pro in the league. And I started playing pro when I was 16, and some teams continued to recruit me, and I decided to, go to Florida International here in Miami. It was close to home. The coach, was going to give me an opportunity to run the team, so I felt that was the best opportunity for me.
Did Florida feel, I know it's not Puerto Rico, but did it give you a lightweight feel of like it's home?
Yeah, for sure. Just because of the culture, the food.
Yeah,
I was
feel
close
tropical
to the house.
around here.
Yeah. You feel like you're in PR. You feel like you're in Dominican, Colombia, everywhere.
Yeah. So, the food, you can run to the food.
Exactly.
You eat all kind of foods and all that stuff.
The language too. Everybody speaks Spanish over here.
Yeah, there's no one language.
Everyone.
I'm trying to learn. I'm forcing my kids. Yeah, you got to get that.
Yeah, for sure.
Could there have been anybody else for Florida International? Did somebody almost get you?
Man, New Mexico State, for some people, these schools might not mean anything. To me, it meant a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the Dukes, North Carolina, but I was a kid coming from an island with no opportunities. You see what I'm saying? So for me, having a school offer me a scholarship, it was like, all right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it the best opportunity possible. It's on me now.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to get recruited by UNC or Arizona or none of these schools, But New Mexico State, they went to recruit me. They went to Puerto Rico and met with me after a game with my family, and we sitting out in our house, and he's about to show us a videotape, highlights of the school and stuff. So he puts a tape in, the scout, I don't remember his name. It was probably a coach. Puts a tape in, we watching the video highlights, and all of a sudden we look to the side, and the motherfuckers fell asleep. He like,
coach sleep?
Yeah. He dead asleep. He dead asleep. And we all like not trying to wake him up. We're not trying to make noise. And my dad looks at me and said, we're not going with this dude. We're going somewhere else.
That shit fired his ass. Did y'all tell somebody? I told on his ass.
I didn't
hold up, bro. Y'all don't still do that.
We know for sure we're not going to Mexico State. So
talk about sleeping on the job.
Yeah, but that was part of the process, though. I'm never going to forget that.
How was it for you to play in college now and see the competition and see that, I can get some success on this level?
That transition, as far as on the court, it was smooth because back then, remember, I turned pro when I was 16, so I was playing against guys that were already pros. They were, and some NBA dudes were playing Puerto Rico as well. So I always had that bar of the
upper
testing
hand
myself every summer and playing in PR and playing with grown men. So every time I went back to playing in college, it was like, if I could play with these dudes in the summer, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm supposed to be killing them.
So it allowed me to gain confidence and believe in myself more and more. So that transition was kind of smooth for me.
Did you know that you the all-time leader still and points?
Yeah, I still know that.
Points per game, minutes, and all of that FIU history.
Yeah, man. I was blessed. I was blessed to be a part of that school, to have a scholarship, and did the things that I did. I know that for sure it helped me big time to be the guy I am today and to have the career that I did have.
So your senior year, did you feel like you did enough through college to get drafted?
I thought I did, but I knew I was coming from a small school. I knew that getting drafted was going to be hard for me, but it was a challenge. I I've been through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've always been an underdog, you can say.
Yeah.
But I knew once I had, that opportunity to go to camp, I was, going to do my best just to, take advantage of that opportunity.
After going undrafted, did you go to summer league with any teams, and then did you go?
I got invited to Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first team, and my agent calls me, tells me, you're gonna go to Toronto vet camp, and at the time they had 15 guaranteed contracts. So I was like, why am I going here? I have no chance of making the team, and I went over there. I remember Chris Childs was the point guard with Alvin as well. He was there. And they got me through the whole thing, man. They were my vets, you can say.
Oh, geez, yeah.
So they got me through the whole thing, and I felt more and more comfortable, in that vet camp. But I didn't know if I was going to make the team. Yeah. And after one practice, I was at the hotel, and that's how I found out. There was a press conference. We were flipping through the channels, and I found out, they were having a press conference. And they said that they were gonna open a spot for me to make the team and stuff. That's how I found out. So
how was the call back home
That's crazy.
to the family? Like, how was the call once they told you was gonna be signed?
Yeah, we called collect. We called collect from
Back
Toronto.
Then, the collect
yeah. And
it's international from
yeah,
Toronto.
exactly. And my family, they were excited for me. They were proud. My mom was crying. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You made it, but to me, I didn't make it. It's just getting started. It's not about making it. It's just staying there. It was for me, but I was excited. Obviously, you think about all the, opportunities you got through life and everything you went through just for that moment, and it is a blessing, to be a part of that.
At that time, you played with half man, half amazing. When he was he was on his real ascension to just out of this world. Like, what was it like seeing that, especially in Toronto? Because I feel like he was Air Canada and all that. He had a huge impact on that specific community.
Man, his talent just in practices, he would, at times he won't go as hard, and it looked like he was going at 100, Like, not only him, and then, Dale Curry was on that team.
Yeah.
Keem Olajuwon was on that team.
Yeah.
Tony Davis, had a great group. Little Steph was on that team too.
Yeah.
He would be after practice shooting with us and everything.
That's
so
crazy.
I was a part of that team. So, but it was amazing to watch. His talent is just pure, and you get to admire people that you see on TV all the time. For me, so it was a great experience.
What was it like when you're a young guy, you trying to get used to it, then you get traded in the middle of the season?
Yeah,
I
got waived.
You got
I
waived?
got waived. Yeah, a week before. Remember, I was new to everything in the league. I didn't know how it worked. So a week before I got traded, I asked Lenny Wilkins at the time. He was a coach. I was like, Coach, it's a lot of trade rumors. Can I talk to you in your office? So I go to his office. I'm like, Coach, I'm new to the league. I'm not playing a lot of minutes. What can I do to, stay on the team? And I hear a lot of rumors of trades and stuff like that. He's like, Carlos, don't worry. Rumors are a part of the NBA. You're gonna hear that all the time. You're here for the long run. You're gonna be here the rest of the year. I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you, Coach. Anything I can do, man. I know I'm not playing, but practice. I'm the first one in the app. The last one to leave. So a day before my contract got guaranteed in January, he calls me into his office. I'm like, damn. So I go into his office. He's like, I know we spoke a week ago, but we got to let you go.
Good just a week ago.
It was all good. We're gonna have to let you go. And I'm like, is anything I can, you want to say anything I can do to help? And I'm like, I couldn't speak because if I had that little, they call it in Spanish, a taco. Yeah. Little taco here, you can't speak, or you start crying.
Yeah.
So I went into the locker room. I didn't know what to do with myself, Q. Like, I went to the locker room. I closed myself in one of the bathrooms, and I put my legs up. I started crying so nobody would see that it was me.
Yeah.
And while the guys were upstairs practicing, I was there for a good 10 minutes. And then I couldn't say bye to nobody, because everybody was upstairs, and I just picked up my things and just left. I thought the world was coming down, But that was my experience there in Toronto. And then I was a week, I came to Miami, and I was like a week without a job, just my agent trying to find the right situation. And he got me a gig in Spain for a month. I told him, I want to play. I just want to play. I go anywhere. He got me a gig in Spain for a month, and then towards the end of that month, he got me a 10-day contract with Denver. So I ended up in Denver around that date.
You go to the Utah Jazz after Denver, after you spend that time in Denver. Jerry Sloan,
he was tough.
He different.
He was tough.
He different.
Tough,
Deshaun, when we got drafted, Deshaun used to tell us. Deshaun Stevens used to tell us.
I was there with Deshaun.
Yeah, he used to be like, he different. Every time you come down court, the guards got a cross.
Did you play with Jerry too?
Oh, I remember.
No, I had to guard.
Oh, you had to guard.
That's what I
just memorized the plays and stuff like that. So I know I'm chasing AK-47 every time. I know, and he crossed every single time. He don't even waste no time. But to be in there and to have guys like Karl Malone,
you got
John
to play
Stockton,
with Mailman and Stock.
And
Stockton and
to come and just see their system, just to see how they are winners and how they carry themselves and work. How was that for you, that Utah experience?
That transition is tough for any player because you go into a system where it's very structured, and regardless of their record, the year before, and he is not going to change it for nobody. You know, and that's one of the things he tells you. I've been doing this for 20 years. He used to tell you, rest in peace, Jerry. But he used to tell you, I don't care who you are. You're gonna follow my system. This is how we've been running it, And it was the automatics. We had just one play that's called automatic, and it had so many variables. Like it was crazy. It was. Now that you think about it and you look back and like, damn, those things worked, And when you're so young, it's hard, to understand the discipline and everything. Like he used to call timeout just so we put the string in our pants inside of our pants. In the timeouts, he wanted like the 5 here, sitting here, the 3, the 2, the 1, and the 4. Like it was crazy.
Everything was structured.
So everything was so structured. And aside from being on time, he said if he used to tell us if you're on time, you're late. And we used to sign like media day. We used to sign balls like a little signature just to get through everything quick. He said I don't want guys signing signature just to get through it. Make sure you put your name and last name so kids can
making sure.
Like it was like that, shirts had to be tucked in, it was an army, man. But with reason, he was always successful, and he's a legend in this game, and we had to respect it, some guys, like I said, it's not for everyone, that system wasn't for everyone, and Stockton and Malone, they were there for so long, and you get there and you see that they're following suit, and you have to follow suit, So, but it was a great experience for me. It helped me a lot, and I grew. At the time I was so young, I didn't really understand it. But me looking back now, like it allowed me to grow, with discipline and understanding a lot of things.
What was it like the first time you in the locker room getting ready for the game, and it's like Mailman and Stockton is over there?
Dog, I come from an island. You don't understand, you know what I'm saying? Like when I got to the league, I was like, everything. But I have to snap out of it because I have to prove to you that I'm here for a reason, and I belong here. So every time I was on a new team or my first year in the NBA, like my first year, it was like snap out of it, These are guys that I played against MJ, and come on, we all watch MJ, I mean, it was Wizards MJ, but it was MJ.
No, it's still
I don't care. Like
he still was glowing,
right? And I can imagine you guys.
My rookie year, bro. When the first time I played against Pip was was he in Houston or Portland?
He's in Portland.
He's in Portland. Bro, I was out there just like every time I thought that everything was like a moment. It was like, hold up, bro. You tripping everything at the moment. You just lean on the free throw line. They got to shoot. I'm like tripping. Like, this Pip.
It was like that for me, especially Stockton. I used to watch Stockton all the time. Stockton was very quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was finna say, because you never hear Stockton talk.
And Mark was the backup. Mark Jackson. So I was behind, Stockton and Mark, the 1 and 2 in the history of the NBA and assists, So I was like learning every day. Just try to absorb the way they see the court, the way they carry themselves. That helped me a lot. I still stay in touch with Carl too. That was my guy, Karl Malone. He took care of me, man.
What was the biggest thing you learned from Stockton? Because I know people don't rarely see him talk, so
his patience,
they don't talk about him all the time. But when I first seen Stockton, I didn't realize he was that big. I was
as far as height?
Yeah, like height and like his legs was like
strong,
his legs was like tree stump, And I was like, I thought you was way more small and skinnier than looking on TV. But when you get in the game, you were like, man, he's like 6'3". Like,
on you, boy. He set some screens on you, Jack.
He'll make you think it was illegal. But it was a damn screen. It was a good screen, but it was great, man. Like I said, he was very quiet, but when he spoke, you listened. You know what I'm saying? He was just very determined in doing things right. His patience, his poise on the floor, the way he saw the game, you would never see him rattle, And I guess it was a part of the culture and that fitted his game too, with Hornacek. They all were kind of like the same,
Yeah.
And it's part of, everything Jerry did to just build a culture and have those guys follow suit and play the way they played, and they were so successful doing it, So
when you start getting playing time, like assistant playing time, how was that for you in that system? Like he believed in you to do
my
what you
second
needed to do.
year, I think it was my second year at Utah. Mark had just he went to another team, and Stockton had retired. And my second year doing training camp, going through training camp, and I had gotten invited to go to the White House for some honoring stuff for the Hispanic Heritage Month.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to meet with him to tell him, look, I got invited for this. I would love to go. He's like, well, that doesn't sit well with me because, you're practicing so well and I was going to start you. But since you have to go to the White House, go ahead and go. He was straight up like that. And I said, no, but I can cancel. I don't have to go. I want to start. And he was like, no, go ahead. When you come back, you'll have a starting job. Mm-hmm. That's how I found out I was going to, play a lot of minutes and be a starter and everything. But it was big shoes to fill.
I was about to say, how did that feel, knowing that you're going to be the guy
I was nervous,
that's stepping in after the legendary John Stockton, you the next starter?
Yeah, because I went from, not playing a lot in Toronto, being waived. Mm-hmm. Then I went to Denver, got waived, and I played good in the World Cup that summer in Indiana. And then I got a call from Utah to go and be a part of that team. I knew I wasn't going to play because it was Stockton and Mark. So I knew it was going to be another year of me learning and playing the minutes, if anything. And then that year I was going to start and play. So I had a lot of pressure on me, and especially, after Stockton leaving, everybody's, okay, so who's the next one?
You're the guy.
Right. So, and my first game, might have been Portland. No, I don't think it was you guys. I think it was Portland.
I know we used to play y'all. It seemed like we played y'all all the time.
Yeah. It was against Portland, and I had a great first game, and we won too. So just to start the season like that, it just gave me confidence and allowed them to see somebody in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but it was a lot of pressure, bro.
Puerto Rico, you play with the national team. Like some guys that seem to, regular NBA fans who don't really know everything, some of you guys may seem like they average players or whatever, but then y'all get to y'all national team and it's like you say, you get your comfort, right. Your coach letting you do you, right. And then talk about that difference and that feeling when you it's kind of like you restricted in a way. You playing in these restricted confines, then you get to go over here. Talk about the difference and how good that freedom feels when you get to go play with the national team.
Well, I think your role changes. You know what I'm saying? Especially like I mentioned, you're not drafted, you're not a franchise player, so you have to understand your role when you're in an NBA team. And then when you're blessed to play for a national team, like some of us, your role changes. You're now the guy. The team is counting on you for points, assists, and lead the team. So, and I felt more comfortable when I went to Puerto Rico, and every time I wore my jersey, aside from just playing with pride and representing your people, it's just a place where I felt like I could be myself, with no restrictions, like you say, and I knew the skies was the limit. And it was also a team where I could show the NBA what I could do. Right. See what I'm saying? So I try to take advantage of that every time I had the opportunity to represent Puerto Rico. I had all those things in mind. I got to prove to the NBA why I'm worthy of more minutes. I have to prove to the fans that it's an honor to represent Puerto Rico, and also I wanted the doors to open for me worldwide with other things. So it's just a comfort level too, as a player. Yeah. You know where you're at, your role, and it shows when you play.
Tell us about the summer. Since we're talking about the national team, the summer when y'all played USA, y'all beat USA. I remember, like, if I walked outside, it felt like I heard Puerto Rico still screaming for you. But just tell her how your country and just how everything changed after that summer for you.
Man, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. You know, it was crazy. It was the first game for us at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And we thought we were gonna win the Olympics.
Yeah.
Beat USA, shit. Nobody has a chance with us. But the next day, you know, Slovenia just brought us to reality. You know.
Yeah.
But it was amazing, man. It opened the doors for me with, you know, sponsorships in Puerto Rico and elsewhere, and it just allowed all of us to grow from there and be recognized. You know, to be able to do it at that stage, it's just truly an honor. Till this day, people celebrate that day like it's a birthday.
Yeah.
You know, and it's truly an anniversary for us. You know what I'm saying? Beating the U.S. in the Olympics and being one of the best, the first ones to do it.
How many times have you signed that photo
where
you like this or been
you know,
talked to
lot,
about
man.
that moment, or just like how much pride do you take in that? That's like a national treasure over there, that picture.
And
that
I meant no
moment.
disrespect, you know, because when I did it, the camera catches me like in the last moment, because I went all around like, you know, it was a moment of pride, you know, and the camera catches me like fronting to D Wade. And it wasn't really the action that, you know, and what I was trying to show at that moment. It was just a moment of pride. And it's, you know, it's a picture that lives forever, you know. I'm in the social study books for kids in Puerto Rico. You know, I was like, I'm signing a book.
That's dope.
You know, so I feel blessed, man. I was truly surprised by how much impact that photo had, man.
It's not too many players that I'd be happy to get down on the USA, but I was genuinely, like, really happy for you, because I know you're a good guy, man.
Thank you,
you
man.
worked so hard, you came from so much, just to have that moment. I just know that was just real, real big for you and your country and your family and, you know, what you are today, you know?
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I need to get some insight, because this dude he don't even know it, but he was my nemesis. You gotta give me some AK-47 stories, man. I feel like he don't get the proper love, the respect that he did, like in the, you know what I'm saying? Just like when we talk about people, you don't really hit like, dog, this dude was a problem at 6'9", 2 ways, fast, but like
Smart
defensively,
too.
he was like him and Tayshaun was my hardest matchup for my career because they length.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I get physical, but like,
and me too.
That was light work, but. Yeah, because of their length and like I couldn't really do the physical stuff because they'd take that. But then once they do this, it was like, just tell me about what it was like when you watching him in practice and just watching how he worked.
You know, the year he made the All-Star team, that was the year I played a lot of minutes with him. That was the year I started. AK was a great teammate, man. He was just very unorthodox in his game too, you know, but he could pass the ball. He understood the game. We had a story after a game, and coach was on him about some turnovers he did during the game, some flashy plays and stuff. And he said back to coach, he said 47. And coach is like, what, son? I said 47. He said, what the hell did that mean? He said, I played 47 minutes for you, 1 for the fans. So I'm gonna do all I wanna do is for that minute, I'm gonna go flashy.
That's dope.
So he said 47. Oh, 47. He talked about his number because he was like AK-47. And that's what he told him. He said, I play 47 minutes for you, 1 for the fans.
That's a bar.
Yeah,
he told Jerry Sloan that.
Yeah,
that's
he told
a
Jerry.
bar.
And Jerry didn't know how to
get
back at him. He's like, what? Well, that's cold though, you know, to tell Jerry that. Yeah, so, and it made sense too, you know. So
give me my minute, dog.
Yeah,
Let me
I'm
get
never
this
gonna
1 minute
forget.
up out you, dog.
Yep.
Go crazy in this moment.
And that's how he played too. If you go back to see his highlights, he was a good passer, man.
Yeah.
He was
He did what I remember, he
he
played
did everything.
D, he can shoot, he can dribble, he can pass, he cut, he can screen good. He never stopped moving. He was the one.
That used to piss me off so bad.
I used to be so pissed that this boy crossed under the goal every single time. Like, man, I'm on defense and I want him to take a break. Like, and he used to. I'm talking about hit that sideline and go all the way. I used to be pissed about that.
We used to practice.
I used to try to take shortcuts and he'd backdoor me because I'm taking shortcuts. He was just a mug.
Yeah.
Going on, like you being in a system like that, because you learn something from it. When somebody kind of discipline your game, when your game is so raw and uncut,
right.
you get in a system that discipline, then you leave that system. What did you go on? How much better did you feel that you was once you left Utah from that system and the IQ, the things you learned over them years? Like, how much better did you think you was going into that summer, playing against the USA team and having a good summer and coming back to go to Detroit?
Man, you don't know how much you've grown until you start playing the season. You know what I'm saying? And then, you feel like, okay, I feel more and more comfortable. You know how it is. You start a season and then you don't feel comfortable until like the second month or third month. But I felt good as far as mentally. I knew, I was ready. Like I said, after that first game, it gave me more confidence to continue to build on that. And I never felt comfortable as far as like, this is my job. I knew every practice, every shoot around, I had to show coach that, I was ready. He can count on me and then build on that. You know what I'm saying? And Utah helped me a lot. Utah gave me patience on the floor. It allowed me to see the game differently. Mark Jackson, that was my guy.
Yeah.
After I could have gotten 2 minutes on the floor. And you know how vets are. Yo, young fella, 2 minutes. Come on, you got to pay attention. You got to do this right. You can't miss on these assignments, this and that. So Mark was always there for me. And then once I got traded to Detroit, man. Those guys were amazing. That was probably the best team I've ever been a part of, bro. Chauncey, Rip, Rasheed, Ben, all those guys, man. Tayshaun. It was just a great, great team to be a part of, man. Their chemistry was just. I mean, you could see it when they played.
Definitely could.
They were there for each other. They made no excuses. Nobody cared who got the credit for what.
I just wanted to double.
And just, Larry on top of it, and a great coach, being on that team. So, and then Joe Dumars too, running the show. So
you gotta give me a funny Sheed story. That's our big dog.
Man, I have so many Sheed stories.
It's limitless. Rasheed Wallace, funny story.
Man, she got me so drunk one time, and at his crib on New Year's Eve, we had a party at his house, man. Shout out to She, man. But I vomited throughout his whole, from the living room all the way to my car, man. And everybody was there, like the coaches. I was so embarrassed. But Mike Dice was on that team too. Mike Dice, shout out to Mike Dice, man. That's my guy. But it was just, overall, it was a great year. I learned a lot from those guys. I still talk to a lot of them.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best teams I was a part of, man.
How did Sloan prepare you for Larry Brown? Because them are two old school historic coaches.
I feel like all my coaches were old school.
I'm about to say he had a gambit of all OGs.
Because a lot of guys come to Larry Brown, and Larry Brown, the way your practice might feel slow. You might feel like you're not moving enough. You standing and listening to Larry Brown talk a lot.
Right.
How was it easier to adjust to Larry leaving Sloan? Because now you know.
It was never easier. That's damn sure. Coaches, old school coaches, they have their own ways, and each coach, they have their own way of, creating their culture and way of structuring their teams and stuff, and how they get practice and how they prepare for games and stuff. And you try to learn and, be patient in the process too. But Larry was very demanding too. Not with his discipline, because I think Jay was a little bit more disciplined in all those things that I told you guys.
Yeah.
But I think Larry was very demanding on the court, And a lot of times, I used to get I used to get frustrated a lot. So it took me a while just kind of to learn. And, he wanted me to play like Chauncey played at times. He wanted me to play like, I played in the Olympics. He wanted me to play it this way. So I was at times I was confused to how he wanted me to be out there on the court. But, you try to make the best out of it. But, those coaches are just demanding,
Yeah. How was it to be a part of a team going all the way to the finals, in playing seven games, though? That's going is the complete total as far as you could go in the season. How was that?
It was great. It was a team that they were supposed to be there again. They had won it the year before, so there was a lot of expectations. And the guys knew it too. I mean, when you were a part of that team, you knew like every night there's gonna be a W. You know, that level of confidence. And you know, playing in the finals, as you know, like a lot of media from all over the world. You know, when you know that, you feel that pressure. You know, from the fans and just the moment you're in. I was blessed to have told you all these stories to where I came from and everything, and just to be at that point, you know, in the finals was great, man.
Then you get traded to the Magic, Orlando, with you and Darko again midway through the season. You gotta tell me this. How did you deal with that? Because I feel like that's one of the most unfortunate things that can happen to somebody getting traded in mid-season.
I think getting traded. If you have a family and your kids are set in school and all that, you know,
the worst.
That's the worst, you know. And I had recently bought a house in Utah when I got traded, like 3 weeks before I got traded. And I had done the basement and everything, you know, so it was tough. But just getting traded, I wasn't happy, but I understood back, you know, then the business. But I was going into a situation in Orlando where I was looking forward to it because every time I played in Orlando, you know, this Hispanic community, the Puerto Rican community would come out, support and show their flags. And, you know, I always felt the love in Orlando. So I was intrigued by that love, you know what I'm saying? What would it be if I ever played for the Magic? So when that happened, I was kind of like happy I would be close to home, to Miami. Mm-hmm. And then I was in a situation where I was going to play minutes and, you know, play in front of the Puerto Rican crowd. So that was a good situation for me when I got there. I hated to leave Detroit because, you know, those were my guys, but I was excited for Orlando.
City beautiful.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of seeing a young Dwight Howard?
He was a beast. Dwight's my guy, you know, and back then I think he was very misunderstood, you know. He's one of those guys that, you know, Dwight, he's playful, you know, and he might have been immature, but he was just trying to find a way that he can still love the game and not see it as a business. Mm-hmm. And it was very misunderstood, you know what I'm saying? So now he can look back and say, I should have done this different. I should have, like all of us, you know what I'm saying? Especially with you know, his nutrition and everything that he's changed. So, and back then he was diesel and he was athletic. And, you know, the way he was probably eating, it didn't stop him from what he was doing on the court.
That boy eat 4 Big Macs like for real.
Right.
Bro.
So how he could have taken his nutrition serious if it was working for him. You know what I'm saying? So, but I love Dwight, man. Yeah. Dwight's one of the best centers to ever play the game, and we have to see it like that. You know, people have to show him love.
Stan Van Gundy. You have any Stan Van Gundy?
What did you think when Stan got to the team?
No! Stan was just a yeller, man. Yeah. I love Stan, bro. Yeah. He's very
that's my
student,
right
you know, determined to do things right, you know. He was very passionate about the game, and he's a great coach. Great coach, man. He'll prepare you for a game. And you know, I had a great experience with Stan, man.
What was it like going to Israel and playing? Like after you had a little stint out there in 08, 09?
Yeah, that I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. I mean, I follow EuroLeague because a lot of players internationally, you know, when you play for national team, you try to like follow their careers and stuff. But I didn't know what to expect from Israel. I had a 1-year deal offer from Phoenix that summer, and that team in Israel was offering me like a 3-4 year deal, and it was good money for me. So, you know, we were in the Bahamas, my wife and I was like, babe, I think we're going to Israel. He's like, Israel? I was like, yeah, they play ball over there. But we started getting on Google, trying to find out, you know. I knew about the team. I follow the team. But, you know, I didn't know about the city. You know, you say Israel, people think that people over there in camels and stuff, you know, back then. But it was a great experience, man. Shout out to Maccabi, man. They treated me with love from day one, you know, and gave me an opportunity to play the game at a high level, and from the moment I landed over there. So, but it was hard, man, to leave the league, you know. But back then I was at the stage where I wanted to play more and kind of like showcase what I can really do, you know. And the last year in Orlando, I wasn't playing a lot and stuff, and So I needed that change in my career.
Tell us the process of when you found out you was finna go to Miami next after leaving Israel, or they gave you the call. How did that go?
Yeah, I was here in Miami actually. I was playing pickup on the streets actually. I was playing. I think it was like 11 at night, and I was playing like 3-on-3s close to the house with some dudes. They were like 50-year-old dudes. I just wanted to hoop.
Yeah.
And I'm like that. Like if I feel like tonight, like if I want to go hoop, I'll drive around to see if I see somebody at a park playing, and I'll get down and I'll play with them. I've always been like that since I was a kid because I just love hooping. And back then when I got the call, I was doing lines after we had played 3-on-3, and my phone rang and it was Pat Riley. And he was calling me. He was like, "Would you like to be a part of our team? Blah blah blah. And they'll pick you up tomorrow at 6 a.m. to do a physical. Blah blah blah." And I was excited. I hung up. I called my agent, and that was that. But
did you believe Pat Riley? Did you believe at first it was Pat Riley on the phone?
Because his voice, yeah.
It just sounded like it would sound like it was about business.
Yeah, it was a Godfather. you know. But when I got to Miami. I get there and they put me in the shot. Like I put my stuff, like I'm walking through the training room, whatever, and I put my bags in the locker.
Yeah.
And the equipment manager's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Put them on. It's an open locker here." So no, you're in the showers. I was like, "What? No, you're in the showers." So they put all my stuff. You remember with the little.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's like, "No, you're in the showers until you make the team."
At the camp.
I was like, so it's back to square one, huh? So, I mean, I kind of took it personal at the beginning, but I understood, you know what I'm saying? That's how they run it here.
Yeah.
And so that first week was tough because I knew I was kind of like in a tryout.
Yeah.
How funny was it when you saw the knee pads on your locker?
Knee pads, everything. Like,
like you be trying to tell,
body fat and weight every week.
You see the knee pad. My first thing, when that first day I came in, you see the stuff on the thing. I came in and did like this, bro. Let me show you what I did. Knee pads sitting, I was like, oh. Grabbed them like, nope. None of that ain't for me. I'm like, I'm cool. I'm like, nah, I don't wear knee pads. They were like, no. They came right back like.
You got to wear this.
They was like, pick one. You have to wear one. You don't have a choice. I was like, fuck you, man. They like, no. We not having people miss games because you bump knees in practice or something like that. I was like.
Which makes sense, you know what I'm saying? It's a practice, but.
I had never practiced or played in knee pads. We was out there like Magic and Kareem and Elijah with double knee pads.
Yeah. It was crazy.
How was the culture like in Miami? Like how. Like you went through Jerry Sloan, you went through Larry Brown, and now you over there with Pat Riley.
And your first year was my only year. That was your first year. Yeah.
Like how was like that? Like realizing the Heat coach, and cause I know you hear about it. We all hear about it around the league, like how the Miami Heat, how they practice, how they in the best shape, and all this stuff.
That conditioning test, boy. I don't know if they still doing it, but that conditioning test.
That wall test.
Q used to tell me about it. I'm like, bro, we seen Q. I was like, hold up, bro. We need to check you or something. You lost that much weight in that much time?
Yeah. But see, by the time Cookies got there, I had already did it.
Yeah.
Like by the time he got there, because I was there the whole summer. They was goddamn Bill was killing me. And by the time the team started, like D-Wright, D-Wade, none of them wasn't there. Like UD and James Jones lived here, so they was the only two there that I saw regularly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But nobody else, like the whole team came in and like, you know what I'm saying, D-Wade looking at me crazy, D-Wade like, boy, what the hell? And UD like, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at him. They tried my boy now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a culture that, shout out to the Heat, man. They've been successful for a reason, They'll keep you in check, and it forces you to stay in shape in the summer. You know what I'm saying? You're not the type of player that is going to come to training camp out of shape. You got to stay in shape throughout the summer so that you can, start training camp in a good way. And a lot of those guys that were there before us. Again, it's all about culture. You follow suit when you're a new guy and you're coming into a new situation, and no excuses. You had to see Brian go through this conditioning test like nothing. Like nothing, bro.
Like how was that? How the team was this team, and then how it just went 360.
You was one of the holdovers.
This championship or nothing.
The Beatles, the
Straight up.
the Heatles, man. Everywhere we went, it was crazy. Man, they bought into it, you know, from the jump. They bought into you just, you know, being there for each other, doing it for each other, and it was beautiful to watch, you know, just the leadership that they all had, you know, to be able to, you know, push his team to where it got to, and you know, Bron was very vocal. You know, he's always been very vocal. You know, and national team too. When I played against him, he always tried to be that guy that, you know, makes sure everybody's, you know, sharp and ready to go.
Together where they go.
Yeah, and D Wade was, you know, his own type of leadership. You know, he had his own way of leading. So, but it was beautiful, man. Shout out to those guys. You know, they always they were good teammates. They were great teammates, and you know. Shout out to their careers too, man. They had beautiful careers.
How did you take it watching D Wade go from 1 year rivaling, like me and you rivals, we equals, and I'm out dueling you some games and vice versa. But then now he opened the door, he give him the keys to his house, knowing what's gonna come with that. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that this is LeBron, it's King James, and all that's gonna come. You putting your kingdom in jeopardy by welcoming this dude, right? So how did you see that from the inside, you know what I'm saying, the locker room and everything, when D Wade take that step back and say, dog, you know what I'm saying? Like, how was that from y'all from a team perspective in the locker room?
It says a lot, you know, about D Wade, you know, and he was all about winning. He's been a winner, you know, throughout his life, but it said a lot about him, you know, like you said, to go from being the man to kind of like sharing that throne. Says a lot about a player, especially at the point in their careers where they were.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They were the man in his team and all-stars. And
we saw the battles.
Right, exactly. So it just, you know, he bought into it from the jump, like I said, you know. And, you know, Chris was more quiet. You know, he was a quiet guy, and he all-star. He's always been a great player. But, you know, he was that piece that they needed, too.
Right.
But, you know... and I think a lot has to do with the culture that the team has too. You know what I'm saying? They put the team first. It's all about winning. It's all about all of us, and it worked out perfectly. So,
how proud were you to see JJ Barea have the type of playoffs he had and the type of impact he had in the finals for them to win
Miami
the championship?
JJ, man, he's done well for himself. You know, I think he was. You know, from the beginning, because of his size, a lot of people kind of like looked him off, and, you know, he's always played with a lot of heart, you know, and, you know, like myself, you know, representing Puerto Rico and anything you do is something that we take to heart, you know, and watching him, you know, be a part of those finals, it was beautiful, you know, not because he was going against Miami, but because, you know, representing Puerto Rico and being one of the first ones to do it. And I seen his transition. I knew Jaden since he was a kid, you know, in Puerto Rico.
That's what I say. Like, how much pride do you take in that? Because, like, what you and your teammates did at the Olympics kind of, like, sparked your country, you know what I'm saying? Sparked the, you know what I'm saying? And it's, like you say, it's in school books, social studies. Like, that's crazy. And then to see, you know, that he's a kid that directly saw everything that y'all were doing, and now he's coming up and making his own way. Like, what type of pride are you taking in
seeing it's beautiful, man. I think just like, you know, and I say this humbly, you know, I think just like I had my opportunity to inspire generations and kids wanting to play the sport and work in their game, I think he had that same moment when he won the finals with Dallas, you know, and he's aware of that. And, you know, through his foundation, he does a lot of work in Puerto Rico with, you know, his camps and helping schools and stuff like that. So he's done a tremendous job to continue to inspire, you know, our next generation of players.
We got Grand Theft Alvarado.
Yeah, we got Jose now, and we got
Jose out there.
You know, pushing him to do well for himself, and you know, he's going through it. This is second, third year. So I have a great relationship with Jose. We speak weekly about, you know, stay in touch. He plays for our national team as well, so I want him to do well, man. He's contract year for him, so I'm pulling for him, man. It's got to be the year.
Straight up. You have another career now. You're an artist now,
man.
Hey, listen, we saw glimpses of this on the bus. We saw glimpses of this on the bus now.
You know. I feel like sports and entertainment, sports and music is really kind of hand in hand. What made you pursue the music? What made you have the confidence? Because, it takes a lot of confidence to be able to, put your music out and want people to embrace it. But what made you pursue music and have the confidence to do music?
At the time, once I retired, I knew I had the time, to be in the studio for hours and produce, a song, and being, okay with it, because you can be in the studio and put together 3 songs and you might not like all 3 of them to be the one that you want to release. So, but it takes a lot of hours. I had a vision of, putting together like a couple of singles with top artists from Puerto Rico, because of the relationship that I had with them and everything. So I wanted to sign with a label and be able to, put out singles and stuff, and it worked out. But confidence, I don't know, man. I never got on stage to be able to perform these songs that I did, but it was a deal that I had with the label.
Yeah, almost 5 million views though.
Yeah, so I was excited. It was something that I always wanted to do. I was very passionate about it, and it opened doors for me too, man. Yeah. I did a movie as well because of the music. That opened the doors for me as well. So. But it was a time that I had the time to do it, and I was extremely passionate about putting out songs and stuff.
How was it to see the reception you got? Like how people embraced your music and showed love, and people viewed your music. How was that for you?
It was different. It was different because I didn't expect to have all those views. And obviously, I was featuring with top artists, so I knew the following was going to be good. But just the feedback was great, man. It gave me confidence to continue to put out songs and stuff like that, and work into other things. But it was great. It was great just to have the support. Obviously, you have people who's like, I can't see Los in that light of being an artist,
right.
But it's something that I enjoy doing,
Yeah.
My kids, though, they wanted me to do it. They were like, well, come on, Dad, like, turn that off,
They hipper than you.
Yeah, well, that's how it is with kids, That's how it is with our kids.
Hey, how did you end up coming up with with your basketball academy?
Man, try to motivate my kid, man. Try to motivate my kid. I got 3 kids. My 2 daughters are like stud volleyball players.
Okay.
One of them, she's playing her freshman year in Dayton University.
Okay.
And my second one, she's on the way, man. She's still 12, but she's on the way. And, man, just trying to motivate my son, man.
Yeah.
I've never been the one to push him, because I don't want him to relate the sport with me, telling him, you got to do this, you got to do that. He's still young. And I figured if I open an academy, I can teach and at the same time motivate him to play the game.
How old is he?
10.
10.
Well, that hasn't helped at all.
What he passionate about? He found a passion yet?
Man.
Or he all over the place like it?
He all over the place,
Yeah.
man. And my wife, she's very determined as far as, our kids are going to do sports. No matter what it is, you pick a sport.
Oh,
you're
the wife is saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, me too.
even
I
better.
want them to do sports, but my girls are settled in volleyball. They're settled. But my boy, he's on everything.
Yeah.
Baseball, like now he's in Taekwondo and playing basketball for the school. But, and everything, I tell him, you have to train. If you want to be able to shoot and have your teammates pass you the ball, they got to trust that you can dribble when they pass you the ball. So all those things, I'm on top of that. But I'm never the one to be like, hey, you got to do this, But, that came about because I wanted to inspire him a little bit,
If you had 4 other teammates out of all the teammates you had in the NBA and you had to pick 4.
Now you going to ask me that in front of you?
I ain't included. I'm never included.
Hey, because this, you got to have a dope squad. I'll leak you ass out too. But
Don't worry.
you play with a lot of great players. If you had to pick 4 other players to play with you to make your 5 to go against anybody,
Damn.
who would be the 4 other players out of you?
You got some legends.
Yeah, I got some legends, bro. Damn.
So of course you at the 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hold on.
That's tough, bro.
I got to put D-Wade. Damn.
Yeah.
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 I got to put Shaq at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
At the 4. Damn, I got to put KG.
Ooh. He might have one.
And Bron at the 3.
Damn.
But
Damn.
It
that
was,
might be
hold on, man. Let me go back at my 4. I mean, I don't know. Y'all might disagree with me, but I have the mailman.
Yeah, Mailman the 4. You got
Borat,
the
KG,
4.
one of them too.
I'm talking about your teammates. You play with
Aaron,
you play with all them? You play with KD?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I played in Boston. My last year was
crazy.
Boston.
He might have the sickest one.
So say that again. Hold on.
He said D-Wade, LeBron, KG, and Shaq.
KG,
what
and
the
Shaq.
fuck?
Damn.
And I'm leaving some names out too.
Yeah. Dang. That's serious.
Shout out to all my teammates, man. I learned
business right there.
I learned from every one of them.
I got another one for you. You got to start, bench, or trade. And since you an and one guy, Skip to Malu, AO, and hot sauce.
I'm gonna start Skip. Skip's a legend, bro.
Yeah.
He a legend. He's smart as hell, man. He would be a great coach. I'm gonna bench Hot, and I'm gonna have to trade AO, man. That's tough.
I got another one. CP, Dame Lillard, and Kyrie Irving. Who do you start, bench, trade?
Damn. For what though? What we playing?
No, you just start, bench, trade. You either gonna start one, you gonna bench one, you gonna trade one.
I don't want to trade none of them.
Damn, I don't want to trade or bench none of them. Yeah. I'm gonna start C. Damn. Hold on. I'm gonna start CP. Damn. Because I should start Damian.
All in their primes, though. The best of the best, the version of them.
Oh, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know how to answer that, bro. I don't know how to answer that.
I want to know when Cookies got the bag. When you got a little change in your pocket, not I see the bling blah. That's a nice size diamond. So you did this before. I ain't talking about what you did for mom and dad taking care. I'm talking about what did Cookies do when he took care of himself. So I'm about to treat myself one time. Like when you spent the bag, the first time you went out and said, I'm about to spend some money I ain't never spent before because I got a little bit now. And what was the first special thing you did for you?
Who was it? I think it was a house. It was the house. Yeah. The first big purchase we did was the house. Yeah. Make sure, I had a place, I can call home and here in Miami. And back then it wasn't as expensive as it is now, so I got lucky. But it was the house. Yep. The house for sure.
All right, man, that's a wrap live from here in Miami. We had to come down here to get in touch with the Puerto Rican guy, my man, Loso Cookies. Hey, he started that thing. This is for Puerto Rico today, baby. Let's get it.
Appreciate y'all, man.
You